A broker does many things. A good broker does them well. A broker's role is to represent the manufacturer of a product to the retailer. Good brokers and good manufacturers can have great relationships with each other. It's not always easy to manage a manufacturer's expectations, so sometimes there has to be a moderation of expectations, just as at the same time a retailer's expectations cannot always be met by the manufacturer. So in essence, a broker is that person in the middle who can affect positive opportunities for both the retailer and the manufacturer. Wholesalers will purchase the product from a manufacturer and he will then sell that product on to a retailer. Wholesalers and brokers do work together. In my particular business model, we deal with a number of distributors who will buy product directly, and we will facilitate the relationship between the manufacturer and the retailer. We will further drive additional retail opportunities to that distributor using his warehousing and using his logistics as a vehicle to distribute product into specific accounts. Sometimes this can work effectively with smaller chains. A new supplier should go through a process in understanding the capabilities of what each broker plays. Some brokers might specialize in center of the store. Some brokers may specialize in dry grocery. Some specialize in produce. So the first thing is understanding what avenues a specific broker operates his business model within. Equally important to that is that you should understand what types of product that specific broker plays, because you can run into issues where you might have a conflict where that particular broker may not be able to handle a product because he's already handling a similar product for a different manufacturer. We decide how to represent a new product primarily by doing what most people should do, is by going out into a grocery store, a number of grocery stores, and seeing what already exists in the marketplace, who the brand players are in that specific category, what the opportunity is, understanding the product placement. Is it a grocery product? Is it a deli product? So the first thing we do is we go out and we ascertain if there's an opportunity to sell that product, and then we would look to try and quantify and qualify the volume of that product that we might be able to sell. We look for products that we see as truly innovative. A line extension of something that already exists is a Me Too product. And in today's retail environment, you have a national brand, you have, in many cases, a second national brand, and you may have a niche natural value application in the health side of the store, and of course you will have a private label application, perhaps in a two-tier private label. So in essence, you could have as many as 5 combinations of this particular product before you've even presented yours, and the question gets asked, do I really need this product in my stores? What is this product going to deliver that I'm not already getting from other products that are similar? Person comes in and he talks about a brand, but it's not a brand if no one's ever heard of it. So in essence, there's an awful lot of homework to do. What I like to see in a presentation, I would like to see all applications for a product. I want to understand the marketing budget. I want to understand the social media application. I want to understand the proposition in terms of place, in terms of need, and in terms of innovation. If you have a truly innovative product, and I cannot repeat this enough, you will have an opportunity that perhaps somebody else does not have. Innovation is key. All retailers sell many of the similar products. All retailers have a slightly different retail format. Some might be high on produce, some might be high on value, some might be high on service, some might be high on freshness. But true innovation transcends tremendous opportunities and possibilities. So, in terms of timelines, if a potential manufacturer comes to us with a new product, the first thing we will do is we will sit down and we will analyze the opportunity. We'll spend some time in stores to understand who the competition are. We'll look at the cost parameters. We'll look at the retail application. We would come to a decision internally within 14 days or thereabouts as to understanding if that would be an opportunity that we would take to a retailer. We would then book appointments with various retailers, and we would hope to present that product to that specific group of retailers within 30 days. Not always easy, but that would be our game time. We would expect a retailer to come back to us within 30 days. We should know between 70 and 90 days out after taking a product whether we believe that that has an opportunity for success. Blackout periods are a tricky one. Basically, every retailer in Canada runs a blackout period from the 1st of November through to the end of January. Simply put, unless you are a commodity and you have a force majeure issue, a blackout period is a blackout period. You must respect retailers during peak holiday seasons. The best way to get a meeting with a buyer is probably to know him before you even start. And one of the good things that I would say about a good broker is that a good broker will have a relationship with various buyers at various chains, and will have that opportunity to meet with a buyer much quicker than an individual would have on his own. In order to present a new product to a buyer, the first thing I need to do is to demonstrate to a buyer at a grocery chain that there is a need for this product in his stores. So how do I go about doing that? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to research his shelf set. I want to understand what he already has in his store sets. I also want to understand the size of the opportunity. If it's a great item that might represent 5 items a week per store, is it a fantastic item that might represent 100 items point sales per week per store? So you really need to understand the value of the opportunity, the size of the opportunity, and the turn of the opportunity. You also need to understand for a retailer what you're going to bring with you. Are you going to bring some listing dollars? Are you going to bring some marketing support? Are you going to bring some case support? Are you going to bring some cross-promotion opportunities? Are you going to bring some branding opportunities? Are you going to bring a sampling program? Lots of different things you've got to bring, and you've got to have a package. Is that I have seen some phenomenally great products that have not been successful. They haven't been successful for a number of reasons, primarily because they did not scream innovation, they did not scream wow, they did not scream anything. It was basically a duplication of Me Too. At the same time, I've also seen some products that should have been successful, but they weren't successful. And they weren't successful because the people putting the product together may not have had the greatest packaging in the world. They may not have had the greatest shelf presence in the world. And frankly, they didn't have any dollars to get shelf space. In today's retail environment, you need to have some dollars for slotting fees or listing fees. That's a fact of life. Retailers have bills to pay as well. Listing fees are something that people don't like to talk about. The reality is, a supermarket chain, whether it is a national chain, a regional chain, a small local chain, have significant overheads and require funds to drive their business. Different retailers have different listing fees for different parts of the store. Obviously, if you're bringing a frozen product, you have higher internal costs than if you had a dry grocery product. The challenge with listing fees is that it does not guarantee success. Consumer purchase is the only method of guaranteeing product success. You need the right product at the right price, in the right store, on the right location. Listing fees can help support that. Without listing fees, your chances of success, in my opinion, are significantly more difficult to deliver. We use a laddering strategy with certain products. It represents an opportunity to build confidence in an unknown brand by having a number of stores within a chain participate. We might take 5 or 7 stores in a small chain where we would create a merchandising unit in those stores. And basically we would watch the sale of those stores over 30 days, and we would come together and we would review what has sold and what has not sold. And at that time we would make a decision if perhaps that could roll out into additional stores within that chain. It's a very good way to help develop and grow an unproven opportunity and gain confidence in the ability of that product to deliver what the manufacturer suggests it is going to deliver. It creates confidence in the retailer in feeling more helpful in putting that in additional outlets in his chain. Obviously, some of these would be targetedly specific to neighborhoods and demographics where it makes the opportunity for that particular product with a greater chance of success. Buyers' hot buttons, innovation, great products, but first and foremost being able to supply the right product at the right price and in the right quantity to the manufacturer's requirements. Out of stocks are absolutely the worst way to create buzzkill. A new supplier, having achieved a listing on shelf, now needs to maximize the opportunity to sell as much of that product off that shelf. If that product is performing well, that manufacturer will own a piece of that shelf. In essence, it'll be a little bit of him on that shelf. The key is to continue to drive the consumer to purchase that product. What costs should a supplier be prepared for in year one? He will have to have a marketing budget. He will have to have a promotion budget. He will have to have a trade spend budget. He will have to have a listing budget. It's a difficult question to answer. I would answer this by saying he'll require more than what he thinks he will. How do I define the difference between marketing spend, promotion spend, and trade spend? At the end of the day, it's all about getting the consumer to pick that product off the shelf. So if we have a cross promotion with product A and product B and that creates a coupon worth $1 off, that appeals to one type of consumer. If we have a trade spend where we've spent $5 a case against the product for a feature and that has generated 10,000 cases per week on a front end with a different retailer for a specific period of time, that's an investment in the brand. Marketing spend has to be about the integrity and the value of the brand. Brand A can be worth $3 and brand B may be only worth $2. But people pick up brand A because brand A has brand recognition behind that brand. It has a value equation created by the marketing spend against that brand. Brand B might not be as well known, and brand B does not have the cachet, it does not have the presence that brand A has, and therefore its value is as a price brand proposition, and that value is $2. So the difference between brand A and brand B in essence is $1. The difference in value between brand A and brand B is infinite. Private label represents significant growth opportunities on specific categories right across all spectrums of the retail environment. Private label is part of who we are. Private label is a very significant contributor to help reducing the overall cost of retail grocery products that consumers purchase every week. I work with a number of retailers who supply both private label and branded products. There is a proposition in terms of the brand proposition from a retail price perspective. In addition, there is a proposition with the retailer brand or private label proposition in terms of its retail price perspective. One of the things that people don't always talk about is that private label can also help grow and build overall category size. Private label can work in conjunction with national brands and can work very effectively with national brands to grow the overall consumption of that particular category. Private label is a very effective retail tool in Canada. We do get exclusivity retailer requests, and sometimes we will grant those requests, primarily based on the opportunity that the retailer will come back to us in terms of understanding the volume that they believe that they can put through their stores based on a product over a given period of time. However, an exclusivity will have a time period. That time period may be a year, it may be 2 years. It's very unlikely that an exclusivity would transcend any length of time further out than that. Sometimes you will have a retailer who will take an exclusivity on a certain size of product. Another retailer may have a different pack format or a different size format. You will see that in various retail environments. Final words of wisdom for a new food entrepreneur. Follow your heart, follow your head, check your budget, recheck your budget, and before you push the start button, ask yourself, is this what I really want? Is this what's going to drive my engine? Is this my passion? Is this my desire? But most importantly, ask yourself this very simple question: is there a need for what I want to produce in the marketplace?